Our Under Armour and Players Bench Players of the Week came out of the stellar performance from our volleyball teams this past weekend. Quinn Bromley had an amazing performance on Friday night that got him to start in Saturday's game. He had 23 kills and 8 digs on the weekend. Chantel Park was a Female Player of the Week for her efforts this past weekend. She showed a lot of consistency, delivering on her 30 kills, 20 digs, and 6 blocking assists. And earlier this week, I got to catch up with her. I'm joined today by Chantel Park, who is Under Armour and Players Bench Player of the Week. Chantel, thank you for joining us. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's a Wednesday, hump day, almost to the weekend.
Yeah.
And you have a bye this week, so you have break, right?
Yeah, we do. I'm gonna take my little brother to a Harlem Globetrotters game and just relax a little bit.
That'll be so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to see them so badly. But coming off of this week, this weekend, you got the Player of the Week, and your team had a really important match going into play against the McEwen Griffins. So tell me what the mentality was as the team went into those games this past weekend.
Well, I think we all knew it was kind of like a do or die. Like, we've split too many, we've dropped a couple that we shouldn't, and this weekend was really defining of whether or not we even had a chance at playoffs. So we went into video, we looked at the players like we usually do, but I think everyone kind of went into the mentality like this weekend, like we need this, like we want this. Like, we're kind of done taking the crap, if I may.
Yeah, totally.
We're done taking it. We want to dish it out. We want that win, and I think we got it, and it felt so good to be out there. And it's always good when you end a game on a high note and you see everybody from the bench run onto the court, and it's a great feeling.
You guys got your anger out. You were like,
oh,
we are done with this. We're getting our anger out.
Oh, totally.
And you had a phenomenal weekend. You had 30 kills, 20 digs, and you know all these stats, 6 block assists, all in the weekend. And on Saturday alone, you were hitting 37.5%. So that is phenomenal. You had an amazing week. How did you feel your play was? Did it feel as phenomenal as the stats show, or was it really just another day in the office?
It really didn't feel like I was doing that great until the last 5 points of set 4, and I don't know, I felt like it was just a grind. Every game is a grind, and you're just trying to do the best you can. And then I don't know, something clicked. The last 5 points of that game, I was like, I'm doing pretty good right now. Give me the ball, see what I can do. And Quinn, our setter, she was just dishing out some great balls. We were passing well, and it was kind of a flow. Everything was going together right, and it felt really good. And I haven't felt that in a long time, so it was really nice to feel again.
Awesome. Was there one kill of the game where you just remember, or is it all kind of a blur?
I had to go back and watch the game because I was like, what happened? But there was one, and the set was a little bit off, and I was kind of falling backwards, and I just remember thinking, we just put it in the court. And I hit it, and it went to the corner in front of the attack line, and I was like, I hit that ball. Okay. So that was the one that kind of stuck out because I don't really understand how I did it.
Was it a cross court or just?
It was cross court, and it was really sharp, and I was like, okay.
It worked.
Yeah, and I literally had to go back and watch those last 5 points and figure out, I was like, what was I seeing? Because I'm I don't usually have vision that good. Every hitter has vision, and you see where they're moving and what they're doing against you, and you can kind of pick apart their seams, but I remember feeling, I was like, I see everything. Give me the ball.
Yeah.
So that was the one where I'm falling backwards. I'm put it in the court, and then it worked, and I was like, okay, I can do that.
Awesome. That's some of the fluky ones are the best ones, and you just don't know, and you just go with it.
And it's kind of just the ones that you're okay, I just have to make a good play, and then they work out, and you're like, give me the point. I did it.
I got it. This is on my stat sheet now.
Yeah.
Do you ever go on the court and you see a player across the net, and you just have this mental almost challenge with them, and you're like, you look like you're my level on the other side. I'm gonna beat you this game. Did you have that against the Griffins this game?
Totally. So there's the girl that I was blocking. I actually know her from when I played club. She's from kind of my area of Alberta, and her name is Tess Pierman. She's number 19. And it's so good to see her play, but I saw her across the court, and I'm like, you're not beating me, I'm gonna block you.
Good.
And she ended up wiping me on one, so she hit the ball off my hands,
Yeah.
And I kind of looked over at the court, and I'm like, she's not doing that again. And we always have that we laughed about it after the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went up and I blocked her a couple of times. I think she got past me one more time, but that's the way the game is, and
Totally.
It's always fun to just challenge yourself, like you're not getting past me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a touch.
Yeah,
That's all
no.
that matters.
Awesome. So switching gears a little bit to know more about you. You were an elite athlete in high school. You played so many different sports, soccer, volleyball, and track, I believe. How was it juggling all these elite sports?
So that's kind of a fun question. So I have been playing multiple sports ever since I stepped into the gymnasium. And it was always whatever the next sport is in the gym or whatever the next sport is coming up, like I want to play. And my mom was actually always very supportive about that. So there would be some nights, because before high school I'd even danced, and I would have volleyball premieres the same weekend that I had dance competitions. And so we kind of had to give and choose a little bit there, but there would be some nights where I had practices, like 3 practices in a night, and we were driving from town to town to town to get me there, and she was always so good about it. It just always kind of came down to what my focus was at the time. So if it was in the middle of soccer season and I had like a couple volleyball practices, like I might have missed a couple volleyball practices or vice versa.
Give and take.
Yeah, if I had volleyball like full swing, I might miss a couple soccer practices. And we always did our best to make sure that I never missed any games or anything super important. But like I said, those dance competitions, I knew I wasn't going anywhere with it. I'm not the most graceful.
It was fun.
It was fun and I loved it. But at the end of the day, I knew that I would be playing volleyball more or longer than I would be playing or doing dance and performing. So it was kind of what was in full swing at the time that I got to choose.
Awesome. And so what kind of decision was it to finally stick with volleyball? You probably got offers to a lot of other different places for soccer, track, probably not dance, but
not dance,
but
no.
volleyball. So how did you make the decision to go with volleyball, to come to Mount Royal and to play out a volleyball career?
So I went on a couple trips to some places, always for soccer. It actually didn't come until much later that I got anything for volleyball. And I talked to coaches from the States, I've talked to coaches from like U of A, U of C, and I went on trips to some places, and it came down to my trip to Mount Royal. I came to Mount Royal not really expecting anything. I'm like, I knew that soccer I was stronger at it. I'd just done it way longer. And I came to my trip and I sat down with our assistant coach, Sammy, and she kind of talked to me about what she had seen, because she had seen me play in club, and what they were kind of looking for, and what Mount Royal could offer me and stuff. And then it was a game day, actually, so they had game day practice, and I got to be a part of their game day practice. So I went into the team room, and as soon as I got in and the door opened, everybody like welcomed me. They like moved all their stuff off the like futon so I could like sit down and like have a place. Oh yeah, we have a futon.
Oh,
really great when you have like a midday break and you can nap. Super awesome.
Very fun.
It's still there.
Sorry, totally derailed
That's
you.
okay. No, they moved all the stuff so that I had like a place to sit. They all kind of like got up and left so I could like change and like, feel comfortable. And then even in practice, like everyone was like super supportive, like covering me and like putting in all their effort, like obviously they're supposed to.
Yeah.
But it was really nice as a recruit to come in and be like, I feel that. And it was kind of done deal from that moment on. I was like, I love this team. I love the school. And I was like, this is where I want to go.
That's awesome. That's such a like heartwarming story. I think you hope everyone has that experience.
Oh, totally. It was just kind of, it was a click. It really was. Because I had gone to Grant MacEwan for a trip, and I had like been to Olds College many times and Red Deer College many times, and it was never a full like this is it. And then I met the team and I got to practice, and I got a one-on-one with one of the coaches, and like they kind of told me like what they saw for me, and I was like, this is awesome. Like I want to be part of this. Aww. And yeah, it was a great like snapshot of like this is what you could do.
Yeah.
And it was
and the
awesome.
rest is history.
The rest is history, and I'm here.
From all of your experiences playing other sports and like obviously a lot of team sports, what do you think that you brought to the Cougars team from your experience, and what you've even like now learned as more of a leadership role on the team? What is it that you feel you bring to the Cougars volleyball team?
I like to think, my teammates might disagree, but I like to think that I just bring hard work. Like I've been a competitive athlete my entire life, and I'm no stranger to being worked hard and putting everything into every day. And it's a grind, it really is. It's a long season. We practice almost every day, and you have to put everything that you have at the time into practice. and into your team. So I like to think that I bring that hard work.
And speaking of hard work, like as you said, you're a veteran when it comes to student-athlete sort of relationships, but how do you manage it all? Because it's a lot of work with 4 or 5 classes probably that you're taking, plus all the practices you're talking about. The off season isn't really an off season because you're back here in a couple months already training again. So how do you balance everything?
Really, it's make sure that in your classes you have some good friends that will help you out. Like I have a lot of people in my classes that love to study with me, and time management. So when you're on the road and you have a couple hours before you have your next meal, or at night when make sure you eat early and then spend even an hour just like going over whatever it was or doing the work. Like do it as early as possible so that when it comes down to crunch time and you have games on the weekend and you still have practice and you have 3 assignments due, you're not as stressed.
See, I need to learn how to do that because for me,
So
see, we're also learning, but for me it's like, if I have this whole bunch of time, then I know I can just sit and get in a zone and just nonstop. But if I have like only a couple hours, then I'm like, oh, well, I can clean the house a little bit, and like I have to leave anyways. So I just totally like force myself to procrastinate more, and it's something that I definitely got to change.
I do the same. I am a Netflix junkie. I love to just sit down on my couch and have Netflix on and maybe eat some food, and then I'm like, oh, I have a paper due in 2 days. I should do that.
What's your favorite show right now?
Okay, I have a couple on the go.
Okay.
So right now, though, full swing, I'm watching Narcos.
Okay, I've heard
And
really good things about that.
I find it's a little bit harder to just like have on in the background because half the time they speak in Spanish, so I have to read the subtitles.
Yes.
I'm not quite bilingual.
Have you seen Queen of the South?
I haven't.
That one's a good one too.
I'll have to check it out. I'm sure I'll be done Narcos here soon. So.
Well, we're procrastinating here anyways ourselves.
We're doing great.
Yeah, no. Back to the question at hand. What tip would you give to students who are struggling, let alone being a student athlete, but just struggling managing all their work? What tip would you give them?
Do it as early as possible, but don't be afraid to ask for help. Like your profs are there to help you succeed. Your like classmates, some of them are there to help you succeed. Other ones don't really care, but they're there. Like your profs are there to make sure that you are understanding the material, giving you support, and there's tons of support on campus. Like getting a tutor or going to like even like the START lab and like figuring out whatever it is you need to do. But I would do it as early as possible. So again, when midterms and finals come around, you're not as stressed.
Stress is never a good thing. It's never ever. But okay, we're gonna have a really fun segment of the show right now.
Okay.
It's rapid fire questions. So
Okay.
I have 10 questions that are meant to be just like short answer, like almost one word answers.
Okay.
We're gonna go through them as fast as possible. Try not to think,
Okay.
and we'll reveal what you're really thinking about these questions.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
What's your favorite candy or chocolate?
Oh, crap.
No thinking.
Chocolate covered almonds.
Okay, best movie.
Oh God, you're killing me.
That's only question 2.
I know. My favorite movie, Lion King.
Best breakfast meal.
Pancakes.
Favorite restaurant.
Oh, Moxie's.
Best place to take a nap.
My bed.
Your pump up song.
Oh, I have so many. Talkie Talkie right now.
Ah,
Yeah.
The best article of clothing to wear.
Hoodie and sweatpants.
Favorite player on the men's team.
God, Trent Mountner. gotta love him.
What's something you couldn't live without?
A nap.
And lastly, what's your favorite thing to do with the team?
Just hang out. Love 'em.
Awesome.
Even if it's in the team room, just
Aw.
love having them around.
Were there any questions you wanted to clarify your answers on?
No, but those really get you.
They were supposed to be easy.
They are, but like favorite movie, there's so many.
I know.
I love movies, and like favorite player on the men's team, like there's so many good guys out there. I just tend to spend more time with Trent, and if you were to ask me basketball team, I would say Patrick.
Aw.
Just, we all like to get along.
Yeah, I know. Cougars night, best night of the
Also,
year.
favorite candy, like there's so many. There's so many good ones, but chocolate covered almonds are the ones I go to.
And those are like healthy but also sweet at the same time.
Yeah,
So.
I like to switch it up to dark chocolate sometimes and pretend I'm healthy, but then I tend to eat more of them, so I don't know if it's counterintuitive.
No.
Okay,
Chocolate's
good.
always good. Finally, you're heading into the end of the regular season, playoffs like right on the balance there. What are you and the rest of the team looking forward to for these next couple weeks?
So we have a couple of tough matches. We've got Trinity, we've got U of
Yeah.
S, and we've got UFC. So I think we're just kind of going in, like making sure we're as prepared as we can be and putting everything we've got into it. Like you can't go into the end of the season half-assed. You got to put everything into it, and you have to just like go for it. You have to leave everything on the court, everything every day in practice, every time you step out there, and just, you know, make them work for it. If they're gonna beat you, make them work for it.
Yeah.
But I think we got them.
I believe in you guys too. I'm always go Cougars go. But anyway, Chantel, thank you so much for joining us today. Chantel Park is our Under Armour and Players Bench Player of the Week. And that's this week's Cougars Corner. Thank you for watching. I'm Caitlin White, and this was the Society of Broadcasting production. Make sure to check out the rest of our productions on our Facebook page. See you next week, and go Cougars go!